Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо.
Hello and welcome to Record Label Boss. And that was a pretty cool song where a Ukrainian artist remixed another Ukrainian artist. And I wanted to play this in the beginning of the show and at the end of the show for two reasons. Number one, it will make sure that all the advertisement income from this show goes to the guy who made the song, who has vowed to donate all of the proceeds from the song to Ukraine. So, by just simply watching the stream on various services, you are actually donating money, at least advertisement money, to Ukraine. I think that's pretty cool. It's completely within our rights to do that. And as you know, I don't do this show for money, so I think it's really cool. Hello to Yo-Yo, hello to Vonnie, and hello to everybody who's with me today again. Hello and welcome to Record Label Boss, the format where we review music from all around the world for record label signing, and we also talk about the music industry, economy, and sociology, and sometimes we talk about Ukraine. So the song you'll hear in the start of the show, and you'll also hear it at the end of the show. So we have it tagged twice. I'm happy you're with me tonight. If you have any questions during the show, just let me know. I'm going to start reviewing. Hey, there's Lottie. How you doing? I'm going to start reviewing music here. And we have a new subscriber, YoMim46. That is a very new person. Thanks, Yo-Yo, for subscribing, for continually subscribing and always supporting. We have so many awesome supporters and staff and everybody on the label. It's really, I think that at a time when people are at war, And when people are having it so bad in Ukraine, you tend to realize more what you have with the people that are around you. But I also tend to realize that we as artists have a little bit more of a responsibility. And one of these responsibilities is to entertain our listeners with great music, but also make sure that the money goes the right way. The only thing that's a little bit shameful in this whole thing is that, as per usual, Spotify will keep 70% of all the revenue for themselves. So instead of the money going to Ukraine, there's still a lot of black knights in the music industry that will keep most of the money for themselves and not paid out to artists. But that's a discussion for another day, actually. And I'm going to start reviewing some music here. First, we're going to do some services. Then we're going to hop on our Discord. And then if we still have some time, we'll do some more services. And I think starting next week I have a little bit different plans again. So if you want to watch me next week, it's going to be interesting again. By the way, I do this every Monday and Wednesday nowadays, always at 2000 Central European Time. That's UTC +2. All right. Let's get to listening. And the first song today is from Lindsay. And the track is called Peace Stand with Ukraine. Hey, does that not fit?
Look at today's economy. We are low on money. It is not funny. People don't have money for bills, but so many people are addicted to pills. We're all on a short leash. We all need some peace.
But I don't know where we have to fly. Oh, tomorrow, no time to waste.
Oh my God.
There's got to be a better way. I could run away
Oh man.
tonight. Don't leave me behind. I could run 1,000 miles. I could take the pain away. I'd show you the way for a brighter day.
Okay, Lindsay. Wow, I know what you're trying to do here, Lindsay, and it's very noble of you.
Countries battling in a civil war, but not for a sword.
And it's very cute
Look
and
at how
sweet,
we have a
but
political rally. I wish I could say it's just a dally.
I don't
Peaceful, and it's like countries
I-
are being helpful.
I don't know what to
Some
say.
places slavery is still allowed.
Yes, Vonnie, you win something for level 3.
I don't know where we have to fly. Oh, tomorrow, no time to waste. There's got to be a better way. I could run away tonight.
Okay.
Don't leave me behind.
I'm gonna say wonderful
I could take the pain away. I'd show you the way
full thought, and we appreciate the intent, but the track itself is
Telling people to keep their
improvable
head up,
a
not
lot.
hard ahead. Half
We
the price
wish
is
you
bullshit.
all
People
the
who have
best.
homes with no bed, no longer
Cheers.
their own home. Brave fighters fighting for freedom, for peace.
I want to say a few words to that. When we had COVID, we got a lot of COVID songs. When we had Ukraine now, we get a lot of Ukraine songs. When we had other things, we get a lot of songs. And it's because people are honestly worried about what's going on. They want to express themselves, and they want to do so through music. And this usually drives a lot of people who are not musicians to do that, which I wholeheartedly support. I think it's great that if you're frustrated or you want to say something, you want to express yourself in music. But kind of like the people that go to Ukraine and have never served in any military capacity in any military in the world, you're probably not necessarily making things better. Generally, I really appreciate the thought, but making extremely horribly sounding songs about Ukraine is probably not really going to help them. I think that whenever something's going on that you really want to do something about, find where your strength is and then do that. If you haven't been in an army, you should probably not join the fighting forces, because you're probably going to be more of a hindrance. And I know a lot of people believe that if they just have enough heart, they're going to fight hard in battle. And anybody who's been in any army will tell you that's just bullshit. If you can't sing, don't sing. If you can't fight, don't fight. And if you can't cook, don't cook. Do what you can. So thank you for the submission, but, you know, we're going to cheer you on. I think this girl has her heart at the right place. And she will continue to, you know, be a beautiful person. And Vonnie says that she doesn't think she's going to try to sing. And Vonnie says she was in a gospel group at 13 and her career's already over. Well, that's okay. That's all right, you know. Hold on, where am I? What am I opening? This? No. I'm not opening this either. I'm opening here. Thank you for Wholesome Get to Know on Reddit there. That's very nice of you. By the way, if you're on Reddit, you're always welcome to upvote the stream because, you know, there's always a lot of people who downvote us for generally no apparent reason. Okay, next song is Jon Jones, a.k.a. the Jones Pop R&B Soul. Naomi sang karaoke.
Reminiscing about an old friend just the other day, wondering whatever happened to Naomi from around the way. There was something special about her right from the start.
Yeah, obviously Vonnie sings. That's right, Lottie. We just figured out that Vonnie's a accomplished gospel singer. She's gonna praise Jesus for us.
Sometimes better if you let her. She'd sing all night long. Naomi sang karaoke. It's hard not to sing along. I'm glad I met her.
By the way, guys, I just want to remind you that you can vote yes and no if you're watching this on Twitch with the yes and no buttons. And this helps me to figure out if a song is good or not. Hey, Mike D, how you doing?
We lost touch, but there was something special about her right from the start.
And Vonnie says if you count her career as a singer in a school band from 12 to 14, well, that's the best years, right?
Glimpse of the heart. Ooh, Naomi sang karaoke, just like the original song. Sometimes better if you let her. She'd
Pretty chill song.
Naomi sang karaoke. It's hard not to sing along. I'm glad I met her. Never forget her as memories linger on.
Let me see if we got any other info for this dude. No, not really. I don't have anything. Let me grab the SoundCloud for this guy.
Look, it's so funny.
Jones the music. Aha, okay, there he is. Let's listen to some other stuff he's got going on here.
Not be told. You keeping up with the Kardashians. She keeping up with the money. Some form of
Yeah, making kind of old school songs.
and a roof over. I wore my shades. Since I used to spin, but I gotta come clean. Gotta come clean.
Yeah.
For your love, I'll do the time. In hell or jail for that thing you do. Thing that you into.
Bit of a grab bag here.
gonna change up, you can forget it. Cause she gon' get her things and just walk away. Think one day you'll get burned. Dreaming of her, forgot the little things he used to do.
Huh.
Take these 5 stones, bring a hustler back 100. Can you do that?
Okay, he's been making songs for a while, and they're all like getting better, and they're interesting, but I don't think he's there already. Interesting dude, though. Vocally, he's not there. And Vonnie is telling me I'm currently training with a vocal coach just to train my voice better for presentations at my job. She sings with me to get to learn how to have a smoother voice when speaking. Wow, so Vonnie is doing vocal training so she can do some recording for us here at the studio. And it's going to be a VO featuring Vonnie. We're going to do a nice EDM track, and she's going to be like, "Ah." It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Da-da. All right. Let's just cool track. Let's have a chat grab a meeting here. I don't know. I don't think he's ready yet, but And Vonnie says, "Yeah, true for sure. Yeah, absolutely." Do you know how easy it is to sing for any kind of electronic music? I'll show you. Just come to the studio. I'll put you in, and you'll just sing something, and I'll make it sound good. Trust me. You can totally do Dua Lipa. Shit, everybody can do Dua Lipa. And this is Saint Rock, hip hop, rap, hip hop, rap, pop, R&B, soul. They're really not, but I get what they're trying to say. Producers and songwriters from Paris and London. Okay. Well, if you want to sing anything else, it's going to be difficult because we can't mangle your voice as much, you know. You can sing metal, etc. Don't matter to me, you know. You can try to sing R&B or something like that, but you really got to be good. With EDM, it's like woohoo, you know. Woohoo! Ay 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 ay. In the summer, my love saw me. Hey, hey, in the summer. Yeah, you get what I mean. Kiss Away Chanel. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Let's peep their SoundCloud. Second people I'm checking out. Buy Now Records. I don't know, dude. It's crashing. That's why you should never send any.
You're waiting for these texts made me say.
Player.
It's a flip to be much more. Baby, go.
Couldn't find anything nice in the first skip around. Let's do something else. Yeah, those sounds to me like they're a little bit all over the board. kind of like a hybrid of many things.
And you see me naked and see me cry. You stay always. Say, do you ever change?
I don't know. La Belle Musique, Saint Rock. Oh, they're just reposting that. Sorry, that wasn't even their tracks. Oh, motherfuckers.
Taking numbers, punches all night. Bouncing around our table.
But that other dude was pretty good. That other dude that was not them was not so bad.
Right, it's the one that struck your head when it is with us. We look
Come back to leave me number lost. You can make what you cause.
Yeah, I don't know. Vonnie, you're not totally wrong. Vonnie says this gives me girl band vibes. If you were to make like a K-pop band or like a teeny pop band, those would probably be the right producers for it. Like a teeny pop band, like 12 to 16-year-old girls for target group. That would probably be it. They've been producing for a while. They got a bunch of songs.
Wanna get you in my mood tonight.
Nobody's following them. They have like 0 following. Clients and collabs include. Yeah, I'm going to say no to these guys because they're essentially saying they're collabing with the entire music industry, which I do believe is true. And they probably did some stuff for them. But judging from their own success, I don't know. And to put clients and collabs together, what's a collab? How does a producer collab with another producer? I don't know. So difficult. Let me check the YouTube channel. 7 subscribers. I cannot understand how somebody could be name dropping such a solid block of names that I have here. And then have like 200 plays and 7 followers. I don't get it. Cool track. Would like to hear more in the future. All the best and cheers. Don't really know what to say. And some other nice ones on SC. To me, it's always, and I know you.
oh, yeah.
To me, it's always like. It's always weird when people tell me that they have like this extensive list of people that are really important people in the music industry that they've worked with. And they have like absolutely no personal following or no music, nothing. Because every musician that I know, especially in the electronic sector, that has been around for a while, has a bunch of videos that have, even if they didn't advertise it, like 20,000, 30,000. Eventually you get to a video that people like, you get to a sound that people like, and you'll have something that has like a little bit of plays on it. I have some friends. I have just literally every electronic artist that I know personally has hundreds of thousands of plays. That the guys that I talk to that are like on my level, like unknown people, like people that nobody knows, but that have pretty decent electronic music. And if they had a little bit more money, they could probably make it in the charts. Some of them have made it in the charts. Wasn't a big thing. But if you're like them and they say they've been doing this for 10 years, if you're doing something for 10 years and you have like 7 subscribers on your YouTube channel and like 5 followers on the, I don't get it. How can you have such a minute footprint after decades in the industry? Okay, sorry guys, I had what? No, I am, there you go. Santa's not real says follow Proto. Maybe our Reddit stream crapped out there. Could be. Hold on, let me see. Because all of a sudden I wasn't on my own stream anymore. I was reading chat and it was gone. Let me just quickly give that a look. But yeah, sad because it's Arpan Day, you know. Maybe we'll have to make another key. Not sure. Unable to connect. Okay. Let's make another. Let's make another broadcast. Why not? Broadcast key. Save. All right, let's turn it on. This is why it's good to have a producer, but I don't have one, so I have to do everything by myself. So sorry, guys, if I have to do this. But when I stream, there's literally no one here. I do light, sound, production, streaming, everything by myself. So that is that. I'm gonna try to open this chat in the browser. Okay, here I am. Well, back to one watcher. There you go. Why not? Okay, so that was that. Yeah, was a little bit weird. We're going to leave here. I'm going to jump over to the Discord, to our demo review room. And I want to say a little bit about that demo review room. And a lot of people were like a little bit... yeah, I just restarted the RPN. So recently on our Discord server, we had a few updates. And we have a room now that is called Demo Review. And I want to let you know that if you want to get your music reviewed on this show, then you can post your demos in there. You can go to our Discord server, you can post your demo in the demo review room, and we will review that demo live on the show. Now, the only thing that's required in order to post your demo here in our demo review room is that you have level 3 on the server, which is a chat level, which you can get in one afternoon, which means you have to be, typing a few chat messages until you're level 3, at which point a secret room will open for you, and you'll be able to assign yourself the role with which you can post in the demo review room. The reason why we're doing this, and we talked about this yesterday, is because we have a lot of people who come by our server and then kind of like pop in their music and leave. And we would like that if we do a review on the show, that the person is actually on the server and that somebody is actually listening to the review. I really don't want to do it in a way to where I review somebody's track and give them some advice and whatnot. And they're not even on the server and they don't even see it. And they might as well be a spam bot. So you will have to be on our server for at least one afternoon in order to get reviewed. And Yomim just posted in there. The demo review channel unlocks with the unsigned artist role. The channel to get the artist role will unlock at chat level 3, dedicated fan. You can then go and give yourself the role by tapping the star under the message. It's not too difficult. And 2 people have posted something in here. It's Vaz and Wonder Bread. And I think I listened to Vaz's stuff already. Let me just quickly listen to that.
Straight from bed and train and shit, I'm scared of failing shit. I might just not be made for this, a person that likes rain and shit.
Oh yeah, we talked about Vaz.
Open with the whole chorus, but I won't show any tours. Like it when I'm alone, I like it when I'm at home. I like it when you're wrong, I like it when I do know.
I think we talked last time about Vaz's vocals, and this still stands for this one.
Yeah, it's crazy, all these thoughts can fuck somebody. Fuck, I needed a gun for it if I got trouble.
It's essentially the vocals that are gonna be his area of focus, and the Wonder Bread. I think Wonder Bread has posted the first time here. Let me listen to this. It's called Wonder Bread Freestyle. Okay.
Yeah, trying to stand here, trying to show these people what I really need. But nobody understands, I don't feel conceited. I feel like my soul needs to be freed. Smoking weed, trying to make my brain pass by. It's okay, cause I'm talking about these emotions. I don't feel shit, and I really feel like I used to be lit. And I used to
Gonna give them both a listen too.
Yeah, lately I ain't been feeling the same. Don't know why lately I ain't been the one to blame. I know I'm just trying to spit some flame, but nobody really sees me for who I am. I'm trying to sit here tall, sit here proud. Damn, I ain't even trying to be loud. Show these people what I could be about. It's alright, cause I'm really standing here trying to get some clout. Yeah, I'm really trying to be happy. Doesn't really matter, cause lately I've been taking a lot of nappies. Got me wondering where the fuck I can't stay awake. I don't know. Just trying to take a break mentally. I ain't trying to do this shit. I'm feeling frustrated.
I'm trying to figure out which symbol to put there.
It's alright, cause I'm doing this shit every day. Damn, screaming like a bottle of mustard. Got me feeling no emotions. Got me feeling nothing at all. Don't know why I fall. Don't know why I'm really.
I'm just gonna put the labor here.
Cause
I got the labor.
Do.
Alright, so for both of these guys, really goes the same. The vocals here need some severe improvements. And it's usually because, people start rapping and they're just not very good. But the advice for me is always the same. At this stage, the advice is always the same. Work on your cadence, work on your pitch, change your cadence, change your pitch, and stop mumbling, get closer to the microphone, record your stuff right. It's a process. And from this stage to the stage where you want to be recorded on a track, it's probably 1 to 2 years to 3 years, depending on how intensively you practice. But the best way to practice here really is to be in front of a mirror and to record yourself all the time. And then really try to listen to what people give you as feedback and try to vary pitch and cadence. That's really the number one that I could say. Number 2 is stop being afraid of rapping. A lot of people start like, I'm going to do the rapping now. Hello, I'm talking to you. Yeah. Usually because they're too shy, You should approach singing like a normal conversation. I know very few people that if they have a normal conversation would go up to somebody and say, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Bob. I feel like you're a really cool person. Yeah. Hello, how you doing?" People don't talk like that. People only talk like that in front of a microphone because they're nervous. When you are talking with your mother, with your friends, you're intonating, you're varying your pitch, you're making a point, you're saying, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And only when you're afraid or muted do you become this person that's like, "I'm going to talk, I'm rapping here, I'm going to say some words to you, my dear." So another advice that I give people is to have a conversation with like an imaginary person. Just imagine you're talking to somebody that's standing across from you, and you probably wouldn't approach them and be like, "Hey guy, what's up? How you doing? You're really cool. I would like to, see what's all going down, but I'm just gonna stop moving my mouth because I really want to talk low, so you can't hear me." You wouldn't do that. You would say, "Hey, how you doing, man? What's up? How's your wife? You don't have a wife, you haven't married. How's your girlfriend? How's your rapping? How's your studio?" You would say, da. This is the natural melody that people have when they're speaking. And when they start rapping, they lose all of that because they're afraid of the microphone. And I cannot tell you how many people are afraid of the microphone. It's down to professional singers. Like, one of the most important things that you do as a producer when you have vocalists come is to make them comfortable because they're scared. I have met very few vocalists that can step into the recording booth and immediately transfer the emotion and the agility that you want to project when you're either singing or rapping. Most of them have to warm up, and a lot of them have to fear down. So for a lot of people, the recording process of voice starts with removing fear, which seems weird, but it's the best tip I can give anybody if they're new to producing vocals. The first thing you address is you make people not be afraid anymore. And once you've done that, you'll find that your vocals that you record with these people are going to be a lot better. Because also, nobody's going to come to you and say, "Hey, I'm afraid." Because, they're too prideful. I've never seen anybody say to me, I'm so nervous, other than some very, very young girls who were obviously extremely nervous and said it. But a lot of people are very nervous, unless they've done it for years and years and years. Then you just go from making them not be afraid to making them comfortable, so they can, get into the emotion. And what you're trying to get rid of, even with the professional people, is this kind of this low emotion, low variation, low energy, low variance singing, And when people say, yeah, there's people that do low energy singing, there's artists that do emotions that are more muted, sadness, etc. But those are not sung with low energy. They're projecting sadness, but extremely well. It's what you're trying to do is to stop not projecting any emotion. So you're trying to get from, I'm not projecting any emotion, I'm just here rapping and people can hear me, but it's super boring. Nobody knows what I'm saying. To actually bringing emotion to your listeners. But this has got to be the most talked topic that I have, ever, always. Again and again and again. And as I always say, I'm not really a vocalist, so vocal coach could probably help you better with that than me. But this is just my experience in working with vocals. So yeah. Mike D has something to say. Let me just read that out. Composing and performing music is all about emotion and putting 100% of your emotion into it. That's right. That's what people feel. You have to emotionally expose yourself, and it's scary because you're vulnerable. That's right. there's quite a few things in here. Number one, what Mike rightly says is music is all about emotion. Music is essentially the conveyance of emotion, also of story, also of content, but also of emotion. And you have to put emotion into it so that people get emotion out of it. Logically, if you're not putting any emotion into it, how can people feel emotional when you sound like you're falling asleep? That could be a good emotion. Maybe you're making a tape where you want to get people to fall asleep because they're safe. That's an emotion. Bored, that's an emotion. And if you do boring raps, the emotion you're transferring is boredom. So people will actively be bored by your song. If you do boring raps, you will, if you're successful, your listeners will be bored. And in order to, and this is another thing that Mike says here, in order to make people feel emotion, you have to emotionally expose yourself. And ATD says boredom is a state more than emotion, I think. But yeah, it's a good question. What state is boredom? But the vulnerability of emotion, people find it weird that they have to go in a box and then all of a sudden they have to be angry, or they have to be friendly, or they have to feel love. To feel emotions or to project emotions at the press of a button is something that actors do, and they're really versed in it, and that's actually a really big part for an actor, but it's also very important for a musician. When you're performing a song that is, I don't know, Rage Against the Machine bomb track or something, that has different emotions than Sweet Home Alabama, and that has different emotions than, I Did It My Way. Every song has different emotions, and these emotions you have to convey when you perform the song. So you have to be able to, at a push of a button, convey that emotion. And it's kind of like acting. You get yourself in a mental state and you think about what it meant to you when you wrote that song, and you go back to that place and then you sing from that place. That's how I do it. That's how I create. If I pick up a song that I've been working on for like a few months, and then I get into it and I can like really not get into it, I try to get into the feeling that I had when I created it, or what was the reason I created it. I was like, it's random stuff. There's this really cool synth sound, and I was grooving with that synth sound. That was the trigger for this song. There was this really cool, I don't know, I was playing around this, I was feeling that, whatever it is, could reconnect with the emotion that you had when you made the song, and you'll be able to portray it. But being emotional and then repeating being emotional on cue is difficult for a lot of people, and this is why I think many people think in the beginning that rap was so authentic. Hey, Waniac, how you doing? Because it was like angry young black people telling their story, and they didn't have to get into the studio and like think to themselves, man, which mood am I going to be in today? Because they wrote stuff from a permanent mood, and then there's certain artists that are always in the mood for dancing, and they are always in that mood, and then it's easy for them to get into the studio, or they write a story where something really pissed them off, and they get into the studio, they get into it, But if you have no emotions, and you're not telling a story, and this is usually how you start in rap, then your song's going to be shit. Your song has to mean something. And usually people start writing rap music when they're young, They're like, I'm the dopest shit, and I'm gonna make another hit. I'm much better than you because you are a fool. And so when you create these rhymes that are completely constructed and have nothing to do with what you did or any kind of story, you cannot attach emotion to that because it's bullshit. So it's really difficult to attach emotion to bullshit lyrics. And this is what I always say: the lyrics are actually most important for the artist first, not for the audience. The lyrics are important to you as an artist because you attach emotion to it, you attach value to it, you attach relevance to it, and this is why your performance has relevance, and then the audience can feel that. So when a story has relevance and emotion for yourself, this is when things start to get better for you. Write a song about, I don't know, the pressure that you're feeling in school because things aren't working right. Write a story about how grateful you feel about this and that. Whatever it is, but write a story that has actual emotions attached to it. And don't write, I am in the biggest house and over there it's a small mouse, So this was a long sidetrack, here. Alrighty, let me go to this Firefox capture, and then I'm gonna check out some more songs here while we're chatting. Okay.
There was a time when I was lost and on my knees. You picked me up and gave me ease.
And Poopy says, joined here, nobody was interacting on Twitch.
Kisses hit my skin.
Yeah, it's difficult,
The heartbreak held.
I think a lot of people just turn on this show and let it go in the background and they listen to me ramble and the music and everything,
Wherever you go.
In the beginning of this show, I have to say that I had so many people rating songs. And people would give numbers, yes, no, or they would give 7 point, 8 point, 9 point, 10 points. But over the 2 years of this show, people have essentially concluded that most of the stuff just isn't worth your time, and they're not even saying no to it anymore. Previously, I had people say yes or no, and I would play the song and let them have about a minute or so for feedback. And at some point, I saw that. And Poopy says he can drop something. Yeah, just drop it in the demo room, dude. And then people kind of figured out, wow, we're listening to 6,000 tracks every year, and out of those, maybe 10 are good. Yeah, and get signed. And so people kind of that's the actual song, Yo-Yo. That's the song going on. At countzerorecords.com/Discord. Dude. Or you can go to demosubmission.com. I'll type that for you. I would not buy it. Now Yo-Yo's giving feedback. He's like, I'm going to give you the... But the problem is, the point is that all the people that have been watching this show with me, and I'm not kidding here, have turned into people that you could actually use in an A&R environment because they've listened to so many songs and they found out that most songs just aren't good enough. If you would completely leave it up to the audience, what we would sign at this point, with like 20 to 30 people being on every single show for 2 years, they have a pretty good success rate. I could totally see letting the audience sign like 5 or 6 artists, because it would 100% not be a miss. That's how much they watch the show. And this is also why they became more of a reviewer personality. And a reviewer personality is somebody who's listened to tens of thousands of songs and found out that out of the 10,000 songs you listen to, 9,995 are going to be not very good. And then there's going to be 5 that are going to be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. So going into details of these 9,995 songs on why there's something wrong with them, and do you give them 7 or 8 points? Generally, something that reviewers and review personalities at a certain point just don't want to do anymore, because it's a waste of time. And this is how you become this typical reviewer that just skips through like tons and tons of music. And every once in a blue moon, something will pique your interest, and that'll be it. And that's pretty much how every reviewer that I know is as a personality. And this is also how the personality of this how the people on this show have become. In the beginning, they were like, yeah, let's do the points, and there's going to be great music here and there. And then they're like, wow, today we listened to 40 songs and we're all not good. How can this be? And it's because there's 60,000 songs released every single day. And you cannot even... There's no way that any person in the world can review these songs. It's just not possible anymore. Not even the released ones. And most of it is mediocre. I would say that most of it isn't actually bad, but most of it definitely isn't good. It's mediocre. It's things that people will never buy, because people generally buy excellent. And this is why, if you're a label, the only stuff you should take is excellent, because nothing else will actually make money, and nothing else will sell. Good will not sell. Very good will not sell. Only excellent will sell. And this is the sad truth. And I'm not talking about it because that's how I want it to be. I'm telling you how our customers, our fans are. The bands that they truly love, they will support, and nobody else. People have less and less money. People believe that, if they buy a subscription to Spotify, they're already supporting artists. And a lot of times I get the justification, I have a Spotify, I don't need anything from you or from your artists. And that's, of course, very sad, because Spotify not only underpays artists, but keeps most of the money for themselves. So you're on Spotify, you're really not paying an artist anything. And even if the artist has millions of plays, that translates into a month's salary for one really big song. And that's it. It's at this point, it's kind of like Spotify is like I don't know, the weird uncle that comes to you every 3 years and invites you to Burger King for a meal. It's not something that you would call a job or an income, Hey, Mike is nice. Mike says Avio actually listens to songs longer than most A&R. Most of the time they give it 10 seconds a day, throw it away, which in reality, some songs may need 3 listens to really understand it. Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Mike. Yeah, because I'm always thinking that I actually picked up a bunch of people by listening to them exactly. Cygnus, for example, first track it didn't click for me. Matt Reed, the first track it didn't click for me. I don't even know what I heard from Karma's T, but it has got to be What Do You Do? And I think that was pretty easy. But a lot of the signs that we had over the years were things to where I was like, I wrote Matt Reed a message saying, hey, your stuff is pretty good. Keep sending it in the future. I'm not sure but about your prospects, but I think there's something there, you know? And he actually did. He changed some songs. He kept sending me more. And then eventually we talked and I was like, man, there's some good stuff here. And he was like, yeah, listen to this. And I found out that is an artist that I really want to sign. And I think Matt Reed is now a complete 100% win because this guy is extremely solid. His album was without miss. There was no song on there that was a miss. And he's working on his new album. He's a wonderful personality. And if I had just skimmed, I would probably had skipped over his stuff because he submitted some song that was probably like his worst song ever. And Mike says, I've seen it. Back when it was CDs, they would have 100 CDs on the desk and they didn't want to deal with it. Yes, it was What Do You Do? Yeah, but What Do You Do was a very slick song. I think I heard it and I was like, yeah, that's really good. I don't think that with you guys there was a question. I thought that these guys are really talented. Then I talked to you, got a little bit of the background, and I was figuring to myself, you know, there's going to be 100% no downside for you if you sign these people. They're music professionals. They're really good in what they do. They have their own studio, their own music school. I mean, come on. What's going to happen? You know, some lost time and effort. But at the very least, the music's still going to be viable, and it is. Karma's T's music is excellent. It's not mass market anymore, or used to be, but it doesn't matter, you know. Fucking what's mass market? At the moment, everybody's crazy about electronic music, but when I started it, people called me an idiot for doing it. So things change. And Poopy says he's on the Discord but can't post on the Get Heard part. That's right, because you need to be on there and get your level 3 and your rolls and stuff. So please stay on the Discord and chat sometimes so you can get your rolls. And you can post it now in the Promote Your Own Music room. And I'll get it because you're on the show. So one day, and I'm always saying this, guys, I'm always saying this, but one day I'm going to make a show to where I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut all the segments where I review the songs of the people that then got signed to Count Zero Records. You know, that when I first heard them, you know, and when I was like, because I have all the shows, everything's fucking recorded. I just don't know which show it is, you know. But going from the emails and the dates, I could probably go back some shows and then find which show it was on, and then, you know, find all the people. But for example, it was the same with Dr. Scandy. He sent me some song, and it was a weird fucking song, because if you know Scandy, he's weird, or was. Rest in peace, Scandy. And then he just sends me this list of like 40 different songs, and they're all like techno, electronica, weird as shit songs of a guy created over 30 years. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy, you know? And on the second look, I signed him, because I found out that this guy's been making electronic music in a country where nobody listens to electronic music for 30 years, and he's a founder of the DJ association there and all kinds of shit, you know? And he makes this weird ass music that some people love and most people don't, and he's really opinionated about everything, and that was definitely a second look. So many people were second looks, you know. And Poopy says he's gonna drop it, but he wants to redo it. See you later, Mike. Send my best to Misty. Drop in the demos, drop in the demos, drop in the demos, do 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 do. Alrighty, where I am. I'm such a horrible. I'm horrible in talk. I got the videos, yeah. I have to say I haven't even looked at them because I was so busy. But I'm gonna do soon TM. But yeah, because I wanna put it out, you know. I mean, come on. It's gonna be epic. And today I was thinking, as I'm listening to this song, that over these years I've heard excellent artists that had no followers and horrible artists that had many followers. And it made me realize that music really... Success in music is essentially all about advertisement. If you're the personality that advertises yourself really well, or you look good and you're always out there, you're going to have a lot of followers. And if you just have good music, you're not going to have a lot of followers. Seen that time and time again. Fans don't care so much about the music. Fans care most about advertisement. Because fans generally don't go looking for new music. They want to be hit in the face with new music, you know? And this is, by the way, one of the success secrets of our label, because musicians that join us, or just musicians in general, tend to believe that good music will attract fans. And one of the things that is the secret of my success is that is not true. Good music will attract absolutely no fucking person. Not a single one will come to your account because you have good music. People come there because you're doing a collab, because there's a search word, because they clicked on the wrong channel, any kind of stuff. And people finding your music starts with the ability to effectively advertise your music, and then to put money into advertising your music and to finding out how to advertise your music. But the idea that you get discovered on Spotify or you get discovered on here and there is bullshit. And then people always say, yeah, but this and this person and this person, they got, they're independent and they got, these millions of plays. And then I always go and make that a thing, because I love doing that. Always go and look at people. And they're like, yeah, and then 10 years ago he met Jay-Z, and from then on he has been developing really well. 2 years ago he met this guy who then shouted him out. And you know what it so many times comes down to? That artist somehow becoming visible to a famous person who then gives them a little bit of a platform. And this is what happens many, many times. And people don't realize that most careers are made either with advertising or from people that were already famous. It's very, very difficult to track back a person to completely self-made without advertisement or the help of a mentor. And sometimes it's not even a mentor. It's just some more famous artist that listens to the song and then tweets, "Hey, have you heard that song? It's really great." And then his fans go there, pick it up, and that's it. And every time because I look for success stories, I look what makes people successful in music. And time again, I come to money, power, and fame. And for some reason, the artist had access to it. And this story to where they made it without money, power, or fame, I have never seen it. Personally, and I don't check every story. I don't know every story, but every story so far that I was able to run down on how people became famous, it was money, power, and fame. And in the very, very few points where they didn't, it was beauty. They didn't have money, they didn't have power, they didn't have fame, but then it was beauty. Somebody that looked really good, and the reason why people follow them generally is because they looked so good that somebody was like, "Oh, that's a really good looking girl, that's a really good looking dude, I'm going to follow them for that." This idea that you just follow some ugly girl, and I know an ugly girl who is great, and who's also had some success, does happen, but then usually nobody picks her up. So I'm watching this girl who is not looking good. She makes excellent music. I think she's a great musician. She believes that she can make it on her own. She doesn't need anybody, because she has a song that has 1 million plays on Spotify. So she made $2,000 to $3,000 from that, was able to buy a little bit of stuff, and she keeps working on her music. And I really wish her the best. I offered her our help. She was not interested. And I like to look at these people and see, do they really make it? And I don't know, every time in the past I did that, they usually give up after a few years. So we will see. Maybe money, power, and fame will come to her somehow, but usually it doesn't. And especially all the rappers, when you look at them, how they got somewhere, it's always because a bigger guy got found them. I know it's not very encouraging for a lot of people, but
I can't trust nobody else. I had to just bet on I had to bet on myself, man. Yeah. Love. I can't trust nobody else.
And by the way, I've never had somebody that I knew, that I personally knew, that blew up because they got signed. They got a big signing, You usually get a big signing once you're already blown up, once you already have established a certain amount of notoriety and following, because labels these days don't sign people to make them big unless they have a planned project there, but they essentially just ride the wave on somebody. So they'll ride the wave on. They're riding the wave on Jesus Christ, TikTok girl that has disappeared now. Fuck. I forgot her name, and this is exactly what I was fucking talking about. You're TikTok famous for a whole 10 minutes, a label signs you. A year later, everybody has forgotten about you, and nobody gives a shit anymore, and you're relegated to making tuna can sandwich advertisements on local TV stations. Damn it. And I really forgot.
Trying to adjust to this market. Once I'm back, I'm a target.
Yeah, so what a way to go out. Make your friends, make your mom, make your dad proud. Or maybe on your own, make yourself proud. After that, none of it really makes sense. Take a break, give yourself a chance to slow down. Maybe take your time, cause it never really slows down. Wishing for a moment that I really wanna hold now. Wishing for a moment that I really wanna hold. Everything is wrong, but I say I'm moving strong. Really left here in the dust, probably collecting rust.
Where did you post it, Poopy? On the Discord or on the demo submission?
What a way to go out. Make your friends, make your mom, make your dad proud. Or maybe on your own, make yourself proud. After that, none of it really makes sense.
Oh. Because I want to develop a blueprint, you know? And the only blueprint I found was money, power, fame, and beauty. And that's not something that a lot of people want to hear, or that's not something very useful. Because everybody knows money, everybody knows power, everybody knows fame, everybody knows beauty. But the point is that if you have all of them, money, power, fame, and beauty, then you're Ariana Grande, or you're any of these other, like, teenage Disney Club girls that got put into Disney Club by their parents who were also in the show business and just had the money to do it. Then you're Adam Levine, you're, you know, all the people that were born to rich, powerful, influential people with money and also looked good. And then these people become famous, and here you are sitting yourself, and you have none of these factors. And you're asking yourself, how am I going to get there? Well, it's going to be more difficult. And you should hear the stories of how now famous musicians went to the same schools, you know. That was so crazy. I heard a story who all went to the same school, like the same elite school in the US, and who all went to the same elite school in the UK. And then you're like, how is it possible that this guy, this girl, and they're all known musicians now went together to that school? It isn't necessarily the school that connects them, but it's the money that connects them. It's the ability of their parents to send them to the most expensive school and to enable them to do networking and to just, you know, bring them to the people. And you always find some people that have all these things and then they still fail. And then they feel like big failures. Because I know some of these people I know, and I would say, wow, if you had the ability to get that kind of exposure and you're still not making it, it means that you're not very good. And that's usually the case. Because they've always had like so much handed to them in their life that for the most part, a lot of them are just not very good at doing things because they're generally in the thing of other people doing things for them. Doing things isn't really their thing. So they need to learn how to do things, you know. But it's the same as with any education. When you can afford the best teachers, you'll get the best students. I think it's a pretty depressing show today, isn't it? Depressing show.
Till the sun comes chasing down the moon.
I don't think it's depressing. I think it's good. Because at the end of the day, you can always say to yourself, hey, look where this person started from. And look where they are, and look where I started from, and look where I am. Just today, I was talking with my daughter about how my grandparents what their standard of living was, what my parents had, what their standard of living was, and what we have, and what our standard of living is. And if I had started as the child of me, a VO, having access to an audio studio, a video studio, somebody knows how to produce, has all the devices, all the licenses, everything. Things would be different. But I have to say it's the same for the people before me. My parents were more successful than my grandparents because of what my grandparents built. And they were more successful because what they built. So every generation kind of like went up one step. And then you begin to understand that there's been people that have been in the very affluent upper class since the 1500s. And their children get born with an incredible amount of support. Connections to the best schools, the best people in the music industry, all the money that they would ever need, all the connections that they would ever need at the age of 10. And then you find out that most people that you hear today are such people. And then you're like, oh, wow, well, it does kind of make sense. Even the people that are struggling, like Lady Gaga, were true upper class children. You know, children that never contemplated having to work ever in their life. So they kind of like, they don't need to do anything, so they dedicate themselves to arts, which is cool. But you gotta know you're competing with somebody who's like way out of your league. So make from that as you will. But I'm just happy that, because I can tell you, when I was young, one of my friends had their family had a house, and this was the 80s, and they had a pool, and they were one of the few people in our area that had a pool. And I was like, wow, if I could just have a pool, that would be so cool, you know. And I always thought it was like a thing of the rich people to have a pool. And all the things that I wanted to have when I was a little kid, I now have as normal. You know what I mean? So the things that I was struggling to have, I now have in abundance. And this is a lot what black people talk about, rap music talks about, generational wealth. It's now, you know, to kind of like build that wealth to where the next generation has more than a generation before, rising through the social groups. And for a lot of people in a lot of countries, that generational wealth building and that rising through the social ranks just isn't possible anymore, because you're not able to build anything. You're not able to save money for any reason, because you need to work 2 jobs just in order to afford your life. Hey, I heard some mind-blowing numbers the other day. So, as an economist, I've always been interested in the Reagan area, because Republicans generally say it was the best area, and Reagan did so many super politics. And so I was like, oh wow, what did he do? And then I learned that he essentially reduced funding to the schools, declared ketchup as tomatoes, and kind of like weird bits. I was like, ha. So yesterday I heard, and it was really, really enlightening to me, that under Reagan, the workload of the American employee increased by 43%, while the payment stayed the same. So when Reagan came to power, and then afterwards, people had to work 43% more, but they didn't get paid more. And at the same time, he made massive tax cuts for the richest, and all this money that came from that additional productivity went to a very, very small group of the richest people who were then also taxed less. And this is where the entire income disparity started and where America's kind of like peak ended and the decline in the national economy started. So judging from the data that I have now, and I would say that he started the American decline. And to me, that was actually very, very interesting because a lot of people like him very much. But when you look at the numbers and you look at the stuff that happened, you're really hard-pressed to find something good about this guy. And this whole thing for, like, I defeated Russia. Did you now? I mean, did you? Did you defeat Russia? You know, is that the reason why we have this up? So, interesting. Dude, what is happening here on my microphone with this chat? Chat. Ay. Oh man. Lots of tailing. Lots of hair. Okay. Chatty. Ay man, come on. Man. See, I specifically put the side cam here so that you can see him, because he's always like, he always wants to be here. Oh, can I get a whoop whoop? Okay. Let's Mr. Catman. I'm a cat man. Okay, I have to film over the side cam because I'm trying to get this right. Okay. Yeah, right. So he ran away. All right, let's listen to some more music. So yeah, that was interesting to me. 40% increase in workload, a 43% increase in productivity because payments stayed the same, and at the same time, tax rate cut, made the wealthy very, very rich, and it started the American decline. And that decline's been going ever since then. It hasn't really stopped. Ever since then, the quality of life for people generally in the US went backwards, as they had to continuously work more in order to make the same amount. So, I mean, that's another way to disenfranchise your lower class and your middle class, to just pay them the same amount but make them work more, you know? And that's the whole point with this, you know. I now have to have 2 jobs just to be able to afford one life. And you didn't used to be like that. It's okay. I don't know. But in all actuality, what we should be looking for is to reduce the amount of time that you need to work in order to be able to afford your life. That's what has happened in Europe. We moved from a 45-hour work week initially to, in most countries now, a 38-hour work week, and our income has increased. So you're kind of like the time you need to invest decreases, and the amount of money you gain increases, and that creates wealth. And if you do it the other way, it creates poverty. But of course, people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and others benefit greatly from that, because it means that people have to work more and more every year while they're getting simultaneously paid less and less. It's the Chineseification of your entire population. You turn them all into third world country inhabitants. And this is so interesting to me, you know, that you have like, I think the US is like 2 countries in one. It's a third world country for everybody who's a worker or an employee, and it's a first world country for everybody who's rich and has a lot of money. And this disparity was always very interesting to me. But because no, it's not true. I was about to say I have never seen somebody exploit their own people like that, but the Russians did that, always did that. In that regard, they're actually similar. I think it's a disregard for your own population. Because, I mean, the United States were founded on the principle of elitism, you know. If you are a rich, white, male, old person, then you were allowed to vote and you had rights under the Constitution. If you were not rich, not white, not male, not old, you couldn't vote. That was the original Constitution. And communism in Russia did away with Leninism really, really quick. As soon as Stalin came to power, they threw overboard anything that was even remotely communist, I would say, and Leninist, and just made it a cult of Stalin, where a small elite rules the entire country. And in this sense, both societies were very similar. They were elitist societies where a very small group of people had all the money and all the power. And then it's not weird that the people don't get kind of like the short end of the stick.
Say what we did to him. We gon' spin again.
Don't know. I'm gonna leave up this view here on the side, so if he ever comes back up, then you'll be able to see it. This way you can see me sitting in my studio here. You can see here on the side cam the exit to the terrace. Our video studio is actually downstairs, while our audio studio is upstairs. It's right above me. I've been listening to so many songs. Sometimes I just don't know. Yeah, everything sounds the same. Pure instrumental, okay.
Insightful, I'm ice cold. Beautiful women walking by me in nice clothes. You and the lady that's giving me high hopes. Moving momentum, you're squeezing through the tight ropes. Let's make a toast and do the most. Sing girls, get your currency, disappear into a ghost. I can't stop, already commenced. Ready to pop in my own defense. Phone steady buzzing off photos I took. It was on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Look, eating good from the same cook. Brooke.
The other day I was contemplating, there's these guys that have these call-in shows, and when none of their viewers are interacting, they're just sitting there. And I was thinking to myself, that's so interesting, because whenever I do that, not much seems to happen. You know, they're just like, call in and talk to me. And if nothing happens, they just sit there. Maybe that's an idea too. Just sit there and say nothing. But of course, I'd have to wear some kind of animal suit, you know. But that's a thing, you know. I've seen the sloth. I've seen the gecko. Everybody's kind of like dressing up as animals to do their talk shows. It's actually really, really crazy. But I really think I'm more like talk radio. I'm more like the talk radio guys that come on at late at night, or used to. You know, 20 years ago when it was really popular. They come on late at night and just talk about stuff. Because how many formats do you really know to where there's like one guy talking about stuff for a very long time? I don't think that these things exist anymore as radio formats, you know. Because I'm always checking here, you know. And, you know, every 10 minutes there's a new downvote on Reddit. But not much going on. And we talked a lot about the Reddit downvotes, you know. Between me and Meg and other people. That we find it so peculiar because when you don't like the content, that's not a reason for downvoting. Downvoting on Reddit actually has very specific reasons if you actually look it out where the upvote downvote system comes from. But most people are just using it as a dislike, you know, like and dislike. But that's actually not what it was meant to be. Because the problem with that is that if you do something that only a minority of people like, there will be a lot more people disliking you. So the Reddit system actually actively encourages discrimination of minorities. Because it essentially floats content that a lot of people think is good, and it drops content that a lot of people think they don't want to see. Seems obvious for a lot of people that that's a good idea, but it's actually not. It means that anything that a minority does will be bombed completely and will be buried. And it means that the very intelligent voices will be muted because very intelligent people usually have divergent opinions. And the opinion that you see generally growing really well and working in Reddit is mainstream opinion. Not the mainstream that's necessarily on other channels, but Reddit mainstream, you know, kind of like a leftist, anti-corporate, kind of like nerdy kind of vibe going on there that generally likes to put the blame on everybody's feet and be upset with shit. but actually has no idea on what actually to do with their life or how to do things better, and actively pisses on everybody who wants to do something instead of just wallowing in their pity. That's kind of like the vibe that's going on there. And you'll have like makeup girls being downvoted into oblivion because they're doing makeup on a makeup channel, and that's because they'll get like 10 upvotes from the 10 people that like makeup on Reddit, and then they'll get like 100 downvotes from the 99% nerds that don't like makeup. But does that mean that makeup content is bad? Or does it mean that the majority is pissing on the minority? And it's exactly the second thing that's happening here. So this whole cycle of like social validation, also with likes on Instagram and things like that. I'm not sure that all of that did a service to society, you know. Because when a lot of people like what you do or like what you post, it does not necessarily mean that's the correct thing to do. Quite to the contrary, many times it doesn't mean that. It means it doesn't mean that you're right. It doesn't mean that even what you're doing is okay. It just means a lot of people push like for various reasons. And with artists, again, put up an extremely good looking girl singing horribly, and put up an ugly looking girl singing beautiful, and you will see the good looking girl has more likes. And what kind of message does that send to our people? If you look good, you can do shit and people will still like you. You know, it's the ultimate shallowness. Or like, if you don't believe the earth is a disc and you believe the earth is a sphere and the earth revolves around the sun, at that time, that was a minority opinion. Any scientific advance was always a minority opinion, because the most people always believe what was the current established standard. And the current established standard usually is wrong. At any time. So, you know. And recently, of course, as a sociologist, I've been comparing Trumpism with Putinism. And I'm finding so many parallels, and I think that's why the two guys like each other so much. Because they're both kind of like autocratic dictator personalities. Because I think they both want to have democracy as some kind of just as like a front. But in reality, they want to be autocratic dictators. They're both like a little bit fascist-y, you know? And I think it's one of the great fears of many people that an autocratic dictator like Trump or others would come to power in America and would be able to turn the US into a Russian-like, completely media-controlled, autocratic, fascistoid system. And I mean, they were close. To say that they were not close would be interesting. I would say that at a certain point in the US, there's about 35 to 40% that subscribed to an alternative autocratic fascist timeline and would want to support that in their country. And Hitler had a lot less than that. Hitler turned Germany into a fascist state with like 10% in the beginning votes. And it's always going to be all those freedom-loving people with all the guns that are going to be the first victims of fascism. Because, you know, freedom and fascism to them looks the same. But of course you're listening to me, so... So I don't know where this is going to lead, but I think Russia's not going to get the better end of the stick here. I think Russia's going to feel the sting of the economic sanctions for decades to come. And I think it's the end of Russia as we know it. At least the end of Russia is a threat on the world stage. And they're going to become a Chinese vassal state because the Chinese are the only people who will lend them any money. Give them anything. I would not have believed that. If you had told me that they would do that, I would not have believed that. So crazy. And I always watch the Ukrainian things and everybody's like, I support Ukraine, Slava Ukraine and everything. And they're like, how can these Russians believe all these lies? And it's Trumpists saying that. It's people that are literally victims to the same type of propaganda in their home country that are now saying, how can these Russians believe it? It's amazing. It just goes to show how powerful government propaganda really is. And it also goes to show how successful Fox News is in indoctrinating a large part of the American population with what can only be described as anti-American propaganda. I mean, Tucker Carlson is now the most popular TV personality in Russia. American TV personality in Russia. Because they think he's great, you know? And for Ukraine, you know, people always like Zelensky. We're so surprised that Zelensky is a good president. And I was like, why? Yeah, because he's an artist and he did stupid dancing shows and he made music and he made TV shows. And I'm always thinking to myself, why would you naturally preclude an artist from being intelligent or being able to be a politician? I don't get it. Why does an artist automatically have to be some kind of a comical and stupid figure that you would never put trust into? Because quite frankly, especially comedians that I know everywhere in the world, US, Europe, whatnot, comedians are usually very keen observers of the political scene and are usually really smart. I have yet to meet a stupid comedian. So it would be natural to me that comedians would be naturally suited to work in the political sphere. So much music. It just gets more. 1,966 left. Some days I'm like, I like this funk shit. I think my second band was called The Nation of Funk. Pretty cool. I'm gonna say no, but pretty cool. I like it, you know. A lot of people like to make this like old like music reminiscent of things that happened like 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I think that's pretty cool, you know. I'm not sure if it's gonna sell, but yeah. Oh man.
Canyon between us. Understanding cracks once again. Will you take him to your grave or let him swallow you whole? Yo, no, no. No matter where you're going or where you're cutting out, you lost your life for nothing.
Today I can't look more. Please, the door it opens, but I.
Okay. Doesn't load. Man.
Just pretend.
Yeah, this is one of these half-half musics, you know, half-half music, half-half songs. I get that sometimes also. That's a little bit interesting, to where a song is like 1 minute and 40 in one way, and then 1 minute and 40 in another way, as if you had just like taken two songs that are completely repetitive and put them together in the middle. So for 1 minute and 50, you're repeating the same thing, same 4 bars over and over, and then completely switch and repeat the same 4 bars then for another 1 minute and 50, and that's the song, you know. It's like, and then you can always see it in the waveform. You see like this, and then in the middle this, and that's it. It's like two different 4 bar segments, and that's the entire song. Yeah.
in tonight. You're losing me. Got a big appetite. There's no use in me. Born in April, but there ain't no fooling me. All I ever wanted was to love you right. Played with my emotions and you made me cry. It's not hard to see. Look what you did to me. All I ever wanted was some of your time. Ain't no coming back once you've crossed that line. It's not hard to see. Look what you did to me. I'm changing locks, I'ma get a new door. I'm all in, I ain't folding for sure. And you don't know jack about a queen, you're not king anymore.
Yo, Anna. Yo, Anna. Let's listen to the other song.
No, right now. Do you plan to stick around? I get really loud, but
Nope. Do.
I long to deceive my innocent eye. My conscience is lost.
Hey, you like it like Selena Gomez? Okay.
Shroud you through
All of the time, I love you. Decline submissions. Johanna. Restore. Submissions. Where is it now? Go. I'm looking. I'm gonna put yo. It's now. Of course, why would anything work? This is why I need a new. This is why we need a new service. Because like, man, come on, time left. Most recent release date. I don't know. I don't know how to get to it anymore. It just. I restored it from the. From the trash can, but it's now gone. Yeah, it's restored but gone. No, there it is. All right, I'm gonna save it. There you go. See, pick that out of the trash can for Meg, so we can listen to it some more. Why? Because why not? You know. All right, let's go to the next one.
happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women.
Doesn't play.
Alkaline when I cook, yeah, we like the spice, so add the cayenne. I can never have trust issues. I don't ever put trust in them, put trust in me. If I tell them.
No, you always gotta stay.
That's also a very popular technique. Just skipping through the song and watching for changes, you know. So ideally you want to have like 4 or 5 changes in there when you're skipping. Unless you have a genre that's really, you know, uniform like EDM or, I don't know, progressive house. But if you're anywhere near popular music and you do like 4 skips or 5 skips and you essentially hear the same thing like the same percussives, the same melody, same bass, kind of like same vocals, then it's a no, because the entire song is just made up of too few separate elements. There's not enough creativity in there. Skipping through. That's what it is. Yeah. No. Can't find a track. No. Bad quality.
Searching for my rain on me. It's about to rain when it's gonna rain.
And when I started this, I never knew that there were so many. Actually, I mean, might be funny to you, but when I started my label, I did not think that there was so many artists and there was so much music being sent. I did honestly not know the sheer volume of creations people are making, and it was, I think, also triggered by COVID. You know, when people were sitting at home, everybody was kind of like making music as a form of therapy, you know. And then we got hit by an avalanche of stuff that was what I would describe as I don't know, average at best, you know. Because so many people were home and they were like, yeah, you know, here's the guitar, I'm gonna pick it up and make some songs and it's gonna be great. Just a bad choir recording. Okay, if he makes a change, I'm saving him. 3, 2. Melody didn't change. I don't know. Alright guys, 56, which means I'm gonna get out of here today, because we have reached a record low of almost nobody being on the show. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching the show today. I've been having a very busy few last days, so I'm actually pretty cool that we can wrap it up at 10 o'clock today. We're gonna do Meg's Beauty tomorrow. So if you want to check in for her show tomorrow on Thursday at 1800 Central European Time, that's UTC +2. That'll be cool. That'll be Meg's Beauty. And I'll be coming back on Monday with Record Label Boss. If you're interested in checking us out and talking with us, join us on Discord. That's countzerorecords.com/Discord. And I'll be back on Monday at the same time. On the same channels with Record Label Boss and another lot of songs because we're gonna have a lot of songs that come in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday is the show. So there's usually a pretty big load of songs that we're gonna be having on Monday. All right, guys, thanks for being on here. I'll see you on Monday.
Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася. Чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо. А ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася. Чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо. А ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася. Чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо. А ми нашу славну Україну Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася. Чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо. А ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі